Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Crypto Atlas. And if you guys are new to the channel, it is nice to meet you guys. Hopefully you enjoy this information. And if you guys do, feel free to hit subscribe. Would love for you to be a part of this amazing community that we're building. And for those of you guys that haven't yet, please make sure you click that bell notification as well. My cat is being a little bit screwy in the background. Yeah, I'm watching you. Okay, interesting way to start this off. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin, Orchid, we're going to be talking about Civic, and so those are the three main topics for today, and primarily what's going around with the news on these as well. So Civic, something that's really interesting there is its big explosive growth. Is this something that we should be surprised on? Is it like a big pump and dump? Well, we'll discuss our thoughts on that. And just so you guys know, I'm not a financial advisor on this stuff, so everything I'm telling you is on my own opinion, but hopefully you find this information very helpful. And if you guys haven't yet, please make sure you click that thumbs up button. Would be amazing if we get to at least 50 likes. We are trying really hard to build a great community. Okay, so first thing, let's go ahead and talk about Bitcoin, the big daddy. Hey, what's up, daddy-o? Going back in time there for a second. So the Stock to Flow creator has no doubt that Bitcoin's going to hit $100,000 by December 21st. This is just a big little kind of highlight point to start with here, but you can see that everything's been basically leading off on track, pushing towards that goal. This is the Stock to Flow chart. For those of you guys that are not familiar with the Stock to Flow chart, it's a mathematically based formula, which simply is just identified in relationship to supply, and then its fixture change over time. And so you can see here that from a mathematical perspective, you have a certain amount that's produced every day, and then that adds to the total supply. And then every 4 years, that gets cut in half for the variable changes. And the green dots are what the actual price has been for Bitcoin. And when you line it up next to the blue line, it actually falls typically right along the line. Sometimes it's above, sometimes it's below, but as the price has been steadily increasing on the average over time, this has been a very good, reliable source as of so far. So this guy's name is Plan B, and he's the one that's been a big proponent of this and pushing it out there in front of everyone for them to take a look at it. So total supply of Bitcoin will not be 21 million. It'll be around 17 million, as many coins died in the fight of being acknowledged as something valuable in the early days. This means 0.002 Bitcoin per person on the planet. So we got 120 years, right, until the last Bitcoin that's actually been mined, according to how the hash rate has been and everything like that. So there's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin, right? What he's saying right here is that no, you're looking at about 4 million. That's going to be gone. And I mean, 120 years, that's a long time. That's plenty of time for some other big mistakes to happen and people to lose their keys, or they die, they didn't pass it on, all this other stuff like that. So as it is right now, you know, just keep an eye on that Stock to Flow chart. Is it an ends all, beat all kind of a chart? No, but it is something that so far has been proven to be very reliable. And until it discredits itself and no longer follows that trend pattern, guys, the trend is your friend, right? So that's the first little bit of news. And then the next thing we got, what's next for Bitcoin as Wall Street gets the vaccine booster. There's a lot of speculation that if you got a vaccine, there's going to be more stability behind things. This week ahead is not easy to call. The initial thoughts led me to believe we will consolidate with support levels being tested throughout the early part of the week. Profit taking could feature. This is a key point right here. Profit taking could feature, right? And so if people are taking profits in this regards, that means that people could be starting to sell off. And on one hand, we also have it to where it's being identified. We're at like some record levels, guys. 98%, a little bit over 98%, I believe, of how many people that have invested in Bitcoin that are technically in a profit right now. So it's more or less people that are buying right now for the first time, that those people are potentially not making a profit if it goes down just slightly. I mean, if you bought it right now and it went up $1, technically, guess what? You're in a profit. And the only thing to compare it to against the $15,000 is the $20,000. But with more stability comes the mindset of ease, in which people can feel that their money is less risky. And a lot of people that are against something like cryptocurrency because of its volatility, those people that are not wanting to get into that space, if they feel that there's more certainty, those specific groups of people are more likely to convert over and then to actually invest into something like this. Next up, Bitcoin may pay out more than gold, says billionaire investor. If the gold bet works, the Bitcoin bet will probably work better. This is from American billionaire Stanley Druckenmiller. So you guys can actually see over here Anthony Pompliano, who's a great proponent, supporter of Bitcoin, a big advocate in the cryptocurrency space. Absolutely wonderful guy. The way he handles things, talks things, discusses it. I think you guys should all definitely go check him out if you haven't already and see how he does everything. So, I find him to be an absolutely great role model. And so he had retweeted, or sorry, not retweeted, I retweeted, but he tweeted saying, "Oh my God, Stan Druckenmiller explaining why Bitcoin is the best asset." Now, this is off of the news, so I'm not going to actually play this video. This article does highlight what had actually been highlighted or spoken about in there. He said, "I own many more times gold than I own Bitcoin, but frankly, if the gold bet works, the Bitcoin bet will probably work better because it's thinner, more illiquid, and has a lot more beta to it." So I don't think I'm a Neanderthal, which is what I've been called when I've said I didn't want to own Bitcoin. So he's a bigger proponent for Bitcoin in the comparison to gold. This is absolutely amazing news because this is coming from another billionaire, and this is a hedge fund guy. So that's something really to keep in mind. And this just came out today. So as people start to react to this kind of news, it could be great. It could be big. When the last hedge fund manager, oh darn, I just drew a blank on his name. But when he had made the announcement that Bitcoin is the fastest horse, right? In fact, I could probably look this up real quick. Bitcoin fastest horse. Paul Tudor Jones. There we go. Look at that. Just a quick little Google search. All I had to do is use some additional words to include in that. So Paul Tudor Jones, when he made the announcement about that, and that he suggested that clients get involved in getting at least some portion of their portfolio into Bitcoin. I believe he said 1%. Don't quote me on that, but I believe he said around 1% that they should at least into Bitcoin. All of a sudden, boom, we were seeing some more big gains. And so having another big hedge fund manager, I mean, this guy, he's a billionaire, right? That's absolutely amazing news. And so you guys can see just kind of the significance around this, like Raoul Pal had said over on Twitter, the significance of the world's greatest and most respected money manager, Stan Druckenmiller, saying just now that he is long Bitcoin cannot be overstated. That has removed every obstacle for any hedge fund or endowment to invest. And my cat is being crazy. And so the next thing that we're going to be talking about, and sorry about that, guys, if you hear that in the background, he's been really antsy lately. Let me know if you guys got pets. Tell me in the comments down below. Why not? Just have fun with it. We're trying to build a nice community. I know we're talking about crypto and stuff, but hey, we're still people, right? So then the next thing we're going to take a look at here is, I'm going to let him out. Oh, come on, buddy. Really? You just wanted in. There you go. Okay, now you're out. Sorry about that. And so, yeah, we're looking over here at Bitcoin, and with Bitcoin, we can see that it has had a progressive rise. As far as for the last 24 hours on the trading view side, you can see that it is just slightly down, and it hasn't really moved much though. So as far as the consolidated space goes, from this perspective, you look at it in comparison to the other days, I mean, there was volatility that took place back here on November 6th, but even then, it just kind of ended in its own median zone. It didn't hit, it hit real high, it hit a real low, but then it came back and just closed out right at the same point, right? And we've been nearing right around the same kind of level right here, as you guys can see running across. So this level right around $15,600, that's $15,600. I would really keep an eye on that. And if Bitcoin can break above that and establish itself as a daily close, I think then we're going to be even more bullish to see it have a further continuation. The next immediate level is going to be 16,000, trying to get above that. So, we're working in different increments here. We're still above the 21 EMA. The RSI is actually flatlining out a little bit here and starting to break back down into more standard levels. And as was kind of mentioned in the other article, we might see some consolidated space with Bitcoin not really moving much in either direction, but I would still expect some high levels of volatility with everything that's happened with the election. A lot of sentiment is that the Wall Street market is going to be more bullish, especially because the amount of involvement of people from Wall Street and their support with President-elect Biden. And so in this case, now that the market is closed? Will we see a reflection of that also in the cryptocurrency space? The announcement today of the vaccine that has a 90% success rate, that is some very good bullish news. Although its actual released into the market space, we're still looking at months away, and even then there's a limited amount of supply in the broad retrospect of how many people that would need to be able to have access to this. So that's a whole other thing that they're going to have to look at and evaluate and kind of identify what game plan that they're going to be taking for that route. As we can see right now, Bitcoin is having a little bit of a pull down. Having one of these candle points is something that is potential, guys. And as you guys can see, well, you can't see it, but it's 4:10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time as of the time of me making this video. So the daily candle hasn't closed out yet. And the fact that this is so minimal for the daily. I mean, look at the bottom level of this. It's as if it hasn't done anything. This is absolutely insane that it hasn't done any movement whatsoever on this daily candle. It's just crazy. I mean, it has moved, but not by much, and technically as a slight pullback down. So on the 4-hourly chart here, you can see some more larger red candles. However, there was a steady run up that took place right around midnight. Actually, midnight, it just started having a big run, pushing all the way into what looks to be noon. This was actually, sorry, that was a couple days ago. We're not looking at the hourly, we're looking at the 4-hourly. So you had a consecutive rally there, consolidated space, then a dump off, a little bit of a climb up, a dump off again, and when it dumps, it seems like it's dumping hard. So if we have another red candle that's starting to form larger here, I just kind of keep an eye out because we might see a reflection. These looking like similar sizes of candles too. I just now noticed that. So just out of kind of curiosity here. Wow, that's actually pretty darn accurate. So let's just say, what happens if it drops down here? That would drop it right back down to the level of resistance, which would be back around $14,600. That's interesting. So, and that would push it down below on the 4-hourly of the 21 EMA, but I wouldn't worry about that. I really worry about the 21 EMA for the daily. So yeah, that's just something that's interesting. So if it goes down, we could see a level drop down, touching the level of resistance and, or sorry, support, my bad, the level of support, and having a potential bounce off. Hopefully. I mean, I want this thing to rally. Everyone's looking at the whole idea of like, oh, I can accumulate more. I can accumulate more. Okay, but at some point, you know, it's like, hey, it's been 25 years, and apparently I'm really old now. I've been accumulating this whole time. Hey, we got a 1% increase finally. Woo! I made a whole bunch of money in my 1%, but I'm gonna hold on until it gets to 20%. It's like, oh my God, it's gonna take another 100 years, man. No, I'm just kidding, obviously. I hope you guys understand that I'm kidding about that. But that's it with Bitcoin. It does have potential for an upswing. I hope that it's going to have a further rally up. And let's go ahead and close that out. So then we take a look over here at Orchid, which is another cryptocurrency that I've been proactively discussing on this channel. It's an altcoin. It's got a lot of cool things going for it as far as the future goes. As you can tell on its scale, though, it had a big rally up, and you know, I own a good amount of this myself. I've invested into this, and so again, I hope that it does well, but I try to be very transparent and honest and straightforward with you guys. And I've been continuously saying that this is on a downward spiral unless it breaks above specific levels. And the problem is that it hasn't been doing that. And so because of that, it was true. It had further continuations down. So I'm not going to be some person over here just, you know, telling you guys, hey guys, it's going to $1 million tomorrow, $1 million. Like, I'm sure so many people want to hear that, but I'm hoping that you guys like my channel and you respect me more, because I'm not just feeding you what you want to hear. I want you guys, and myself included, to be making smart, wise decisions and to actually be able to make profits off of these kinds of things. And so if it's getting too red, too risky for you, and you want to pull out, well, then you saw the signs properly, instead of having a sense of false hope that other people want to keep instilling in you. So, you know, again, I hope that this goes to the moon. I honestly do. Just like the other investments that I have. but I'm not going to be one of those people. I think that it's a really bad way to kind of portray yourself, you know? And so they get more engagements, sure, on some of their stuff. But over time, I hope you guys respect me more. And if you like this video and you like how I'm handling things and you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure you guys subscribe. Please make sure you turn on the bell notification. And please, for the love of all that is sweet cheese. Is there sweet cheese? I guess some cheese might taste kind of sweet. Hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. And so looking at this right now, I know I got a little sidetracked there, but hopefully you're having fun with this. You're like, get back to the information, yeah, Jack. I'm not gonna say. I have fun here. Anyways, so this is still below the 21 EMA, and that's not good. So it needs to go above it. It is above the level of resistance that had been shown above, and that's great and everything. But now it's forming a new level, and essentially what this is doing is it's creating a wider wedge. So yeah, the top has kind of a new formation, but it's still a descending wedge, right? So that's not really that great. And so now we're kind of in this position right here. We still got that level of support that's shown down below. And as it is right now, we got to get above 21 EMA. We have to close above it for the daily candle, and it needs to stay closed on multiple days for 2 days at least. And let's be honest, with the track history of what's been going on with Orchid, you want to place your bets more safely 3 days, because this has been popping up above and then retracing down below, popping up above and retracing down below, up above, down below. And I mean, we happen over and over and over and over again. So guys, that 21 EMA is a very important, significant level. And you know other people that talk about Orchid OXT, and if they haven't been talking about this, now might be a good time for you to let them take a look at this video too. They're more than welcome to chime in their thoughts and opinions and everything on this. From what I've been looking at with all this stuff, I've been accurate. I've been accurate this whole time, which is crazy to think about. We're just keeping it to a couple bare bone facts, fundamentals, and you know, it has a further continuation down unless it breaks above specific things. And so you hope for those. If it doesn't do it, it doesn't establish it, then guess what? It does further continue down. And we're seeing these different level formations. So if you want it to rally up, we got to make sure it has the fundamentals. It's the fundamentals, guys. They are the fundamentals, and we have fun here. So I got to get above that. If not, then we're looking at it potentially retracing all the way back down, and we got a further continuation with this level of support that's right here. This baseline on the Fibonacci retracement level puts it right back down to around about 19.5 cents, right? So if it could stay above that, then great. Otherwise, we might see a breach even to a further level, which let's really hope that it doesn't do this. I'm most concerned about all those extra tokens that are going to go out in December, but down to like 16 cents, 16.5 cents. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. If it can break above that 21 EMA, I want to see it get back into the previous consolidated space right around the 0.236 on the Fibonacci retracement, which is around 26 cents. So if it can maintain above 26 cents, then we're starting to look a lot more promising in my opinion. Okay, now that that is done with that bad boy, let me, I can't save it for some reason. Okay, well, that's interesting. Now let's get over to Civic, because what the heck happened with Civic today, baby? Oh my gosh, look at that. It's still pushing on a rally. It is still, look at it, guys. Go, no, what are you doing? You looked away from the computer for a second because you were just listening, right? Look at this, okay? You're looking, right? Okay, now you can go back to listening. That's fine. So looking over at Civic here, you can see that it's had substantial growth according to CoinMarketCap, 97%. I refresh the page. It's actually 129% since I set that up right before I started recording this video 19 minutes ago. So you can see it's had a substantial rise up. Is this a pump and dump though? That's one of the things that we wanted to talk about with this. If you look at it historically back in the period of when Bitcoin had pushed all the way up to $20,000, guess what? This had a rally going all the way up with it as well. And at a peak, all-time high was $1.66. $1.66. Right now, 14 cents. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. $1.66 compared to 14 cents. That's a substantial increase, guys. But you do see that it had a bit of a trail off down here. It tried to recover a little bit back in May, which is also a point in time we saw similarly with Bitcoin, and then just kind of flatlined out. So now that it's having a little bit of a rebirth here, could this actually be more of a sign, not of what's been going on with Bitcoin, but could it potentially be a sign of what will happen to Bitcoin next? Is this a sign that this is rallying like how it did here? And that's to say, hey, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, Bitcoin is about to really explode. This is seeing its beginning growth just like this did. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments down below. Now, if you look at it on the daily candle, you can see a substantial increase over a period of time. It had a little bit of some retracements down here as well, but more accurately, we can actually see it over here. So this is a daily candle. You can see an explosive growth as of yesterday. As of today, it's had some movement as well. The previous day here. You know, I just realized, I wonder if TradingView has just recently changed how their time frame is. Or wait, maybe because we had the time zone change with daylight savings time, maybe I'm wrong on that candle for the daily. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on this in the next 40 minutes and see if there's anything that's changed with that. Because if that's true, then it might be, let's see, we fall back, right? So it might be an extra hour. Maybe it's 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time now instead of 5. I'm gonna have to look into it. Curious about that actually quite a bit. So that might be why the stuff with Bitcoin seemed so minimal over the last 24 hours. But regardless, when we take a look at this, guys, or maybe this went back to 4 instead of 5. Anyways, my bad, guys. So yeah, you take a look at this right here, and that would probably make more sense because the volume is so low. You can see the previous day, massive gains. So far, massive gains. Also had a bit of a push up there. Everything started to rally around November 5th, and that was apparently in relationship, from what it seems like, to the addition with Coinbase. And you can see here on Coinbase, it has its identification all the way back to December of 2018. But I was reading an article that said Coinbase CVC. It said that it was just added. Crypto exchange Coinbase has added support for Civic. So yeah, I've seen, it's kind of weird. Previously on TradingView, it sounds like a TV show now, right? That it would only show on TradingView for Coinbase to the point in time in which it was actually added to Coinbase. So you couldn't see any historical data before that. So maybe TradingView is updating a lot of their different stuff, because now here it's actually going all the way back to 2018. But as you can see, massive spike up. Let's go a little bit more of a macro time frame. We're not even going to do an hour. We're going to do a 15-minute time frame, because this is what I was noticing on Coinbase. So if you're talking about a pump and dump, this straight up and then immediately a dump down right afterwards, that's a really good sign of a pump and dump, guys. But then it had an accumulation phase and it started to rally up more, and then another big pump, and then immediately a massive dump. Another pump up, and then a massive dump. These massive dumps could also be reflections, and you can also see it took place back here as this rally began. Big pump up, pull down, big pump up, pull down massively. It could be people that are just trying to get out of it now, that are back from like the 2018 era when it was a higher price and they didn't sell it off, and they've just been waiting this whole time. And so they're either breaking even, maybe they're able to take a little bit of profits, or they're just looking at the amount of explosive growth over the course of a day, and they're saying, you know, this is going to retrace back potentially, and they're just going to take what they can with it, and they might allocate it to other things, other cryptocurrencies, or hold itself. So one key thing to really take note of with this is the fact that it does have a pullback down, but it is further continuing up. So far it's holding off pretty strongly. The daily though, this is a really high growth, guys. I mean, this is something that you should be very cautious of. I went ahead personally and I invested into this as it rallied up. You know, it's kind of a FOMO situation. I just put 50 bucks in though. I just wanted to get myself wet with it. If it goes back to the previous levels of 2018, hey, you know, I made a decent amount of money on it. As an investor, what's the golden rule? Never invest more than what you're willing to risk to lose. So it could be a great opportunity, but because it's such a short time frame, it is such a massive growth with this as well. And I didn't see personally any relevant major news that was indicating about this going up, like some sort of merger with another crypto or anything like that. I couldn't find anything myself. If you guys know of anything that I missed, definitely tell us in the comments down below, please. And everyone else, be sure to to take a look in the comments down below, because if I miss something, that's part of us having a strong community, is that you guys can make sure that other people don't miss that news as well. I try to get what I can, you know, but I'm not perfect with this stuff. So if we take a look over here, we can see that we have on, why do I always miss this? I'm looking for my price range. I'm always missing my price range. Where did you go, little guy? There we go, price range. I forget where it is every single time. So it's had, over the last couple days, I mean, it went up as much as like 310% ever since November 8th, right? Yesterday. And that's quite an explosive growth. If you even just take into account from the previous candle to where it was right here, you're looking at a baseline of 70 cents, or sorry, 7 cents, 0.07, all the way up to 16 and a half. That's 136% increase, guys. That is quite incredible. 129 with what this is indicating right here. Now 164. See, I just refreshed it again. So yeah, very, very volatile. Be careful with that. If you like the volatility, you want to take a risk on it, go ahead. I mean, the price is still going up, technically. If it keeps going up, I mean, I got something in it, a little bit, something. And yeah, but what is more likely to happen when you have explosive growth like this? Another dump. And we saw it on the 4-hourly, right? Or sorry, we saw it on the 15 minutes. We saw it on the 15 minutes. So this massive candle, if it gets too high, don't be surprised if it has another huge retracement down. And just kind of like where it is right now, if it was to do something like that, you can end up seeing it pull all the way back down to around 15 cents. I guess technically I didn't really need to pull that down, right? Yeah, so around 15 cents. So see like a 2-cent drop if it had a similar reflection of what we kind of saw with these other candles. Technically, it kind of pulled down a little bit more. So it might even be near the baseline that's kind of formed here around 14 cents. I think 14 cents for a retracement down off of a hot candle like that seems more feasible for sure, especially because we see those baselines that are being established. Anyways, guys, that's going to go ahead and do it for this video. Again, if you guys enjoyed this episode and you have not yet subscribed, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell icon so you're alerted of future videos. And if you can, hit that like button. It'd be amazing if we get at least 50 likes. Every single like helps us out, guys. And it may seem like a small remedial thing, and you hear all these other YouTubes doing it, but if you like the content and you want to help my channel grow and you want to see this community space grow, then please take the little bit of time and click that. And yeah, you guys are awesome. Feel free to leave any comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next episode.